What I want to know is who ultimately gets credit for, technically, it's this whole thing, Ashley's got to change. Have you ever thought about the fact that hundreds and thousands of people have this whole electronic scheme with Demetrius and his friends and everybody? Have you ever thought for a second that maybe hundreds and thousands of people have heard something, and because people have sheep mentality, they just go along with the crowd? And I'm not saying people are stupid, but I'm saying that there's a lot of people that don't know how to think for themselves because they were never taught to, or have never been in conditions that force them to. So have you ever thought for 1 second that maybe so many people are saying bad things simply because they are following the majority? And that is what people do 99.9% of the time. And I made that up, but let's say 60% of the time. That's what people do. What's cool? What looks good? These trends. It's law of attraction in a sense. So although I'm not attractive, I'm real. And I'm going to be real till the day that I die. And if nobody likes that, there's nothing I can do about it. I guess the world's going to go up in flames. Because at the end of the day, I want to ensure that I go to heaven. And I'm trying my best to do what's right, not by law. Yes, you abide by the law because it states in the Bible, if you don't respect authority, then the peacemakers that God has appointed, then, it's a sin in a sense. I am trying my hardest to follow God's word and be a good person. And there is somebody out there like Demetrius destroying my reputation, destroying what I look like, saying I'm doing things I don't even do. People are paying people off left and right to obstruct this entire scheme. And I sit here and I look at the bigger picture and I'm like, there's patterns everywhere. Like, it tells me 85% of the people that I knew, it was a false relationship, friendship, whatever. And it hurts. And of course I'd mourn that. And I can't say I haven't. But I have to look at the bigger picture. I can't just sit here and focus on this relationship didn't work, this one didn't work. I have to take a step back and ask myself, what's the ultimate goal here? Because there can only be a few things. The person destroying my reputation wants me gone. And then there's plenty of people watching that want me to succeed. And then there's the bystanders, the ones that follow the crowd, the majority, those who, like in a presidential campaign, don't vote. And I've been a bystander for America for a long time. But I think ultimately Trump is a better decision. Let me just put that out there verbally so nobody thinks that I haven't contributed to my country. I've wanted to serve. I've wanted to serve in the military for our country. I've tried numerous times. And simply because people don't tell you those things, you'd never know that about me. I want to fight for the people that can't fight for themselves. I've wanted to be a doctor, but Demetrius ensured that I couldn't even become a nurse in 2019. I was on the phone with Shauna and Demetrius and dated Jeff. And at that time, it felt like all three of them wanted so badly for my life to fail that I can't be a nurse. I can't because then they wouldn't have been able to steal my kids so easily, because it would have looked better in a judge's eyes. Oh, well, this is somebody who is of public service. Like, they help. Why would we take her kids from her? But all Demetrius has done is send in his little minions. I call them minions. His little minions to do his dirty work. Like, come in and act like they're drug dealing with me. Act like they know me. Act like they're sleeping with me. We're going to create this scheme, and you're going to play it out, and you're going to ensure that we can follow through with it. Because that way a judge is going to look at her and say, well, this is plausible. This is plausible. And so is this. I mean, how do you know these people? Because I'm naive and I care about people regardless of their status. That's why. Because God instilled that in me before I was ever born. That's just who I am. I don't know, I'm not Jesus, but that's who I am. I don't know how else to be. But I know exactly who's doing this. And if I do come back from this, and I'm praying every day that I do, I want my kids to know exactly what I've gone through because of the people that wanted to steal them from me and not doing right by the law and using people as who are the sheep majority to do work for them. I want my kids to know how much I love them and what I was thinking about this entire time. It's not right. And you should never conform to something like this.